Hey, YouTube. So y'all hear about Wendy Williams? So apparently this morning, Wendy Williams went on her show to announce that she is living in a sober house, as she describes it, which means after the show, she doesn't go home to her house. She goes to a recovery program. She called it a sober house. So, of course, it's good. I mean, if she has a problem, she's taking care of it. There wasn't very much information in that because she floated between sounding like an advertisement for Kevin Hunter Foundation. And that she goes into how many people they've put in programs around the country or whatever. It just opened a week ago, so this would be the time to advertise what they're doing. But nevertheless, this thing was only a couple minutes long, but it seemed like she was saying that she was curious about her other brothers and sisters in the struggle and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, God bless her. I guess Judge Mathis was right. Judge Mathis, when he went off on her, he said that she had powder around her nose when she came out of the dressing room, and that he suggested that she was still hooked on cocaine. And this thing that she did just now, today, she didn't mention what she was hooked on. Now, some people are saying that when her arm was broken, she got hooked on pain medication. And I've heard that excuse so many times. Addicts, they don't need no excuse. You relapsed, right? But she says, I didn't hear it out of her mouth that it's because of her arm that she's on pain medication, and she's hooked on pain medication. My guess is that she's hooked on cocaine. That's why she's in a program 24 hours, and has a 24-hour coach, sobriety coach, following her around, making sure that she doesn't come in contact with any drugs whatsoever, which is a good thing. I'm not criticizing her being in the process, but she started off by saying that her program, they're always open and honest, and I don't believe that's true. I think this woman, she went to living in this place, and she thought that no one would tell. Probably someone has threatened to tell to leak this information. She did it suddenly, so maybe someone, because when you go living in this sober thing. And she said she's going to meetings all day after the group. Then she's encountering all kinds of people. People with 1 day of sobriety are in those programs as well. Probably someone either threatened to try to blackmail her, or she heard that somebody was going to find out, or whatever. You're dealing with drug addicts. And I assume they're 12-step groups after she leaves her show. Anybody could tell. And then all the employees in the sober house itself could tell that she was in there. So rather than someone else breaking the story, she chose to break it herself, which is fine. I mean, don't let anybody spray you with your own stuff. So that noise. Forgive my construction people, they're still at it. But what do I think about the situation with Wendy Williams? Well, I just said what I think about it. I think someone either threatened to tell that she was in this program, or someone was going to leak it, and she was out ahead of the story. I don't know how you can keep that secret for very long, right? And she didn't say in this thing what she was hooked on, so it could be cocaine still. That was her drug of choice. That could be it. Now, people say you can get hooked on pain medication. I don't know. I never knew about that. When I had surgeries and things, they put me on pain medications, and when the time was up, a week after or 2 weeks after, I just stopped. So it was never that I ever got high on pain medications. This is the same thing they said about Michael Jackson when he was alive, that he had addiction. It was pain medication. Everybody used that as the perfect excuse. They said that about Prince. Pain is always pain medication that they're hooked on, but that's not really telling the whole story. If you're hooked on a pain medication and you're now hooked on this pain medication, most likely, usually, you will get hooked on what you really like to do. That's kind of what it leads to. It's not like you get on pain medication, now you're hooked on pain medication for the rest of your life. The danger is it leading you back into getting high. So that could have happened. She didn't give much information in this thing. And she did seem to be harping on this Kevin Hunter Foundation, whatever. So maybe she just can't help that part of it. But you watch, somebody's going to try to come out with, that can't come out with it now. She already told it. See? That's how that works. So let's hope that Wendy Williams is able to get herself clean and sober. So it brings forth several questions for me. So if the Graves' disease, was that real? Were there symptoms of the Graves' disease that were causing her these problems? Was she, when she took off for 2 months, was that because of the Graves' disease or was that because of the addiction? So she didn't say very much. It sounds to me more like the addiction is what was causing her all these problems. But it could be both. Maybe she's got that disease. She's got personal problems with her husband. And all of this stuff together, combined with drug addiction, gonna blow up on her. So, I don't know. She said fair. She always tells it's an open, honest discussion, but I don't think that's true. I think she hosts things until she's forced to deal with them. So we'll see. We'll see. For me, it would help me if she would just tell the truth about what is she addicted to. Sleeping pills? Is it pain medication? Pain medication doesn't seem to go anywhere, though. I mean, I know people will get hooked on it, but for a real drug addict to get hooked on pain medication, it seems to me that drug addict would go back to doing drugs. That's what would happen for me. That was my fear. I've had 2 surgeries in the last year. 2. And my fear was that if these people get me high on these pain medications, it would lead me back into wanting to get high on my drug of choice. For me, it didn't happen that way. It was time when the thing was over, I was able to just let that go and not take the medication. But I was never opiate addict anyway. I like the opposite of that. So we'll see. I heard about the story first thing this morning, but unfortunately I had things I had to do today, so I was only able to get to it now. More will be revealed. This is probably going to end up in a book somewhere. But Wendy, you're not being open and honest if you come this far without mentioning that you were hooked on drugs. And I guess that it's probably because you're forced to confront it. Someone is forcing you out, is what I'm thinking. But I ain't hating. I'm not hating, honey. If she can live in the sober house, that's going to help her. I would just tell her, stop with the advertising at Kevin Hunter Foundation and your brothers and sisters in the cup. Don't worry about them. Worry about yourself. People, Kevin will grow his business somewhere apart from your sobriety. Take your sobriety seriously. Right? All right. We'll keep an eye on you, girl. Good luck, Miss Wendy Williams. Maybe she ought to be on Ayana Fix My Life. Maybe Ayana needs to fix her life. But then that's the competition, so that's not likely to happen.